morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture, just to see how those incidents affect our daily lives. Listen, we are back, people, because our show is back. Bel Air! Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Our show is back. Have you watched? Have you watched? I have watched. So I'm not going to spend piece by piece, time by time doing that. I may in between these do a watch along and go over what's going on with the watch along, because I haven't done watch alongs in so long. I don't know what made me stop, but I hadn't done them in a while. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button down there. Hit the like button. Again, that helps me with my engagement. My shows are back, so I am back. Let's get to it. Now, we break in. When we see the show, they give us a recap of what happened last season, and we'll do just a very brief recap. With Will at the end, he finally met his father, and he realized, and his father wasn't what he thought. He was pissed off at his family because they lied to him about his father. I guess it was something in between of the fact that he should have known who his father was, got the ability to figure out who his father was, so that he can move on. And I think just the fact that the adults did what they did in order to protect him, he's not going to see that he is a child. But, he has every right to be angry because, he thought one thing about his father, and then it was a totally different situation. We have Carlton getting better. I don't know if Carlton is still using the drugs or not. But at the end, him and Will's relationship was solidified. Uncle Phil stepped out of the race due to people finding out what happened between Will and the judges over in Philadelphia, because he used his influence to get his son off, get Will off, which to me was so radical, because other people in that situation that will do the same thing for their children. And I just find it ironic that that was what was used against Uncle Phil. I thought maybe they would have found some other information. Aunt Viv got her fellowship, and she's back in the art world doing what she has to do. She, old light-skinned, helped her get the fellowship, and so she's good. Hillary is fooling around with Jazz, and she has an issue with the guy who runs the house. I don't know why Hillary is acting like she don't want folks to know that she go with Jazz, but that's how it ended. We also see what's that baby's name? Ashley, just rolling into and starting to transition from a child to a curious teenager. She's curious about her life. She's curious about what's going on. She has a very sense, her parents have defined a very sense of right and wrong. She is being more vocal about it. Excuse my clearing of my throat all the time, y'all. I've been having bronchitis issues, and it's slowly clearing up. But with bronchitis, you still have to get all that out your lungs and your throats and stuff. At the end of the episode, they gave me the sense that they were working towards the direction of Ashley coming into her own as far as her who she's attracted to. That she's attracted to girls. I'm trying to think. Will's mom went home. And, Uncle Phil fired Jeffrey. So that's where we are right now. So as the show starts in season 2, episode 1, which is entitled A Fresh Start. So when it comes on, there's a couple of things going on. So we have Will, who from the last episode, he left the home. He he's living with Jazz. He's living living on his, sleeping on his couch and everything. And he's kind of hustling backwards. And what I mean by that is, he's still going to school, which is great. He's still going to school. He's still vibing with his family. He's not vibing with Uncle Phil because he feels like Uncle Phil has betrayed him in some way. But he's hustling backwards in the sense that he's doing the things that he did in Philly with the pickup games and all those other things. And doing those pickup games and things like that never worked out for Will. And hence, this is why he's in Bel Air. So he's doing those things. Jazz is trying to talk to him, but he's really not really feeling Jazz. And that's how he's picking up this money. Because you remember at the end of the last episode, Carlton dropped some money in Will's pocket so that he can have some money to do what he needed to do. So he was doing these pickup games in an effort to get seen by this guy who has the ability to get players seen by scouts and stuff like that. Instead of him doing it the way that he needed to do with it in high school. But he's trying to figure out a way to do that so the scouts could see him, so he could go to a great school. Because he had all those prospects when he was in Philly, but now that he's in Bel Air, those prospects have dried up. Which is ironic because usually it's the other way around. Like, those kids would get all the prospects and seeing all those things, and then the kids that it's ironic, but this is how they're gonna play the show. So he's doing all of this to get money. Jazz is trying to remind him that he has family that loves him, that wants to be with him, and he has to give them the opportunity to make things better. And, Will is like, well, it's not going to ever be the same. And, sort of in the kind of way that Jazz speaks, it's never going to be the same. Once something is discovered, you don't go back to the old ways. You could forgive your family, but you don't necessarily go back to the old ways, or do you forget what you have done? We see Hillary is running the influencer house, which she wanted to do because apparently the guy who was running it last season, because I thought Hillary and him were going to continuously bump heads, but apparently he was in some sort of debt, and so he got rid of the influencer house. He sold it to Ivy, and so Ivy is the owner, and I think Hillary is part owner, but Ivy is like, hey, you're going to do the day-to-day stuff. I'm just trying to influence and get my stuff out here. You're going to do the day-to-day stuff. And she's fine with that until she's confronted. Hillary is fine with that until she's confronted with the fact that she's got to fire those two goofy boys. And she thought Ivy was going to be there to help her do that. That wasn't the case. And Hillary was very upset because she was like, they were crying. And, she was telling Jazz that they were crying and everything. And I couldn't handle it. And he was like, well, what did you expect? You fired them. The way they do their livelihood, basically you got rid of that because you were opposed to Kylo. I think his name was Kylo. You were opposed to Kylo. So you're going to have to live with those consequences. There is a cost to being the boss. And that means that you're going to have to fire. It's one thing to be making all the money and doing all that other stuff, but there is a cost to being the boss. So we see Uncle Phil going back to work. Now, mind you this, that partner is not really happy of seeing Phil. And I don't know if he has been working around behind the scenes to get rid of Phil, but you can tell that there is some tension in regards to Uncle Phil coming back to his law firm. So there's going to be some tension. There is going to be some tension, and quiet as it's kept and as loud as I'm about to say it, because of that tension, he going to need Jeffrey. I'm sorry. You just going to need Jeffrey. We got Aunt Vi. She did an interview with the I'm just going to say a news rag. I don't know who she did the interview with. And basically she was trying to talk about what she planned to do versus what Old Light Skin wants to do, aka Reed. And they're bumping heads, but they hadn't, at this point, they hadn't spoken. But apparently, Reed had gone and done an interview, and the person that interviewed Vi basically was like, yeah, she has these ideas, but these are the things that's going to happen with that fellowship money and da 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 da. So we will see. Um, Will and Lisa, you know, it's this unspoken tension still. He loves her. He wants to talk to her. He wants to do all this stuff, but there's some tension in the air. They eventually do have a conversation. However, let me get to this part of Will's story. He goes, it's Ashley's birthday, and she's having this birthday party on the yacht. And, excuse me, they're waiting on Will to get there. Will is at this one-on-one basketball game because the promoter, the person who he's really trying to get to, is there. And Jazz is trying to explain to him, hey, you might need to do this another time because, you know, your Ashley is looking forward to you being at this birthday party. So he goes to the thing. He's like, I can do all of this. He goes to the pickup game. He plays. But he also meets another woman. He meets, what's he say her name was? I didn't write it down. But she's like, you know, she's cute, follow around the way girl. She's really cute. And she's talking to him and stuff like that. So, Willard, you about to get into some things, which is great. I want to see some tension. I want to see some stuff going on between, Will and Lisa and possibly this new girl. Oh, we also see Carlton likes this, what's her name? Because she was there last year. Yasmin. I know I wrote her name down. Carlton, here we go. Carlton. Yasmin, yes. She happens to be the president of the BSU, the Black Student Union. Carlton goes back there because Will puts him back there. He's like, if you want to talk to Yasmin, Yasmin is the president here, so you need to be here in order for you to get in contact and get to talking to Yasmin. And there's this guy in there who basically calls Carlton out about him using the Black Student Union, and Carlton made a little speech, but which made sense. He's like, there's no need for, it's one thing to be insulary, it's one thing to gatekeep what you're doing, but if you're talking about wanting to have change, you've got to interact with people. And that's what Carlton was saying, that, you know, it's one thing to sit here and be upset that they do fried chicken on the first Friday of Black History Month, and it's another thing to make real change, and you all spend so much time being so insulary and not wanting to get out here and try to really work and to do great change like ancestors of old. You know, when there was an issue, there was a problem, you got together, you talked about it, you complained about it, then you found a solution, and then you went out there and you worked and do a solution. I think that's one of the things that with this generation there is. I'm not saying that they're not trying to make change. I'm saying they're having, with all of the tools that they have to coordinate, they don't seem to be using those tools in a way that will be helpful for them. The last time really that I've seen people use the internet and social media to move change to move change and to get stuff rolling in regards to that was when President Obama was elected that first go around. A lot of that had to do with a lot of the folks in my generation not understanding the power of social media. And so they were using the same old tactics, going to small towns, doing the thing, and they were judging all of that they were judging all the polling information from the old things that they did before. And you saw that a whole demographic was shocked to see this black man or biracial man, however you want to call him, ascend to the highest level of government in the United States. And a lot of that had to do with Twitter and Facebook, people communicating with each other via Twitter and Facebook, that caused some change. So I can hear what Carlton is saying, that you need to come together and you need to be able, because there are going to be people that are going to see what you're talking about and see your side. You just have to get out there to know those people. I also wanted to say my cheeks got a really big smile when I saw that Ashley's teacher is the original Ashley, which was so cute. Miss Hughes is introducing her to a lot of history and stuff like that, just really exciting her her mind and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool to see Miss Ashley through there. I talked about Uncle Phil's. Will called Jeffrey. They meet up with each other, and Jeffrey goes over there to let them know that Will is descending back into madness with the pickup games. Will makes the Jeffrey apologizes to Uncle Phil. Will makes the boat. He talks to, again, like I said, he talks to Uncle Phil. They work it out. He moves back home. He's still doing these little pickup games. And I'm trying to think, I might be missing something. But if I am, that's okay. Y'all go watch it. It's so we back at it again. It was a great introduction to our show. So we see that there's going to be some tension with Will in regards to these pickup games and this guy who's supposed to help him. And I believe that this guy and Uncle Phil are gonna clash. I do believe that there's some conflict going on with Uncle Phil's firm, where he's going to need Jeffrey to assist him. It's almost going to be like I really do believe that they are planning a coup to get rid of Uncle Phil. I really do believe that. Because the way that partner said, hey, we got a meeting, I got a meeting or something to go to, we meeting and stuff, and some stuff going on, but I'll get back to you. There's no way in the world that you're not going to make me believe that meeting is about Uncle Phil and figuring out how to push him out. Because I do believe that they had some issues and stuff like that about him running for DA and stuff like that. So, also, I think that there's going to be some tension between Lisa and this new girl that's trying to worm her way into Will's life. I forgot about Hillary. Wait a minute, I knew it was something. Baby, we was on the ship. We was on the yacht. And Ivy was like, Jazz is somebody I need to be trying to talk to. And, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but Hillary is acting like, she's acting like Jazz is not important to her. And, that's partly, if you look at Carlton and you look at Ashley, somewhere in there they have learned that they have to be insulary and everything, they have to work inside of a bubble. And they're good about working inside of a bubble, but relationship-wise and stuff like that, it's not good to work inside of a bubble because it stifles the relationship. Because what kind of relationship do you have when the only place that I can be with you is at the house? We can't go out to eat. We can't do the things that regular people do. We can't go out to eat. We can't do all those things because that makes you think that there's something else going on. But, honey, Ivy was the best catalyst for Miss Hillary, honey, because she came in on Jazz smoking hot. And then when she realized that Ivy was serious about that man, then she wants to declare her love for him. But I would tell you this. If you like somebody, let them know that you like them, honey. But let them know that you like them and not try to put them in this bubble. If you feel like that person is not... if you feel like you can't even walk down the street or be in public with this person, you might need to reevaluate whether or not that you need to be with this person, because not only does it make you look funny, but it's also unfair to that person, because you'll start putting things in their head that doesn't need to be, like, Tag, what's wrong with me? I can't go out in public with you. You might be cheating on me. All of these types of things start going on. But that was the show. I probably missed some things, but, charge it to my head, not my heart. Tell me what you think. Tell me about all this tension that's going on. I think that Hillary and Ivy are going to come to some kind of head too. We'll probably see old light skin either the second episode or the third episode. But I do believe that we are going to have to. I believe Will's mama is coming down there too. But I believe that we're going to have the tension this season is going to really, really come from Uncle Phil and his firm. And Will and his need to want to get back what he had in Philly before the incident. So there's going to be some consequences and things like that. So it came back, like I said, it started. It's not as explosive as I thought it was going to be, but it's good that it's building us up to what we're going to see over these next 8, 9, 10 episodes. So tell me what you think. Are y'all excited that Bel Air is back? I am. Because it gets me back into my groove of doing videos weekly. All right. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you all. And as always, people, bye-bye.